My dear students, Dr. Abhijit Majumdar, Professor and Director of Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pharmacy Institute, Greater Noida. I am here before you to continue with our studies on this pharmaceutical marketing management. In the previous class, we were having a lot of discussion about how to train an individual, what are the various process by which recruitment is done, how to make an employee much more accommodative to an industry. With that, we have discussed about a lot about the compensation package, how a compensation is fixed, what are the basic between now salary, wages, what are the direct and indirect compensation, what are the monetary benefits, what are the non-monetary benefits which are generally given to a particular professional sales representative to make him more attached to a pharmaceutical industries. You have seen how the companies are trying desperately to make you accommodating to the changing environment, either by giving you training, sometimes by giving you good salary, sometimes by giving you other infringements like LTC, like Mediclaim, like providing you holiday home, by giving you flexible working timings also. These are the various ways our organization tries to retain its staff, try to retain its employee, because as we know today the world is changing. Therefore, they provide you free of cost induction training, they update your skills so that you are not obsolete. So, these are the things which a company is providing to you. So, obviously, you have something to give in return. That is what we are studying under the heading of duties of professional sales representative. What are your duties? What you have to give it in return to the organization? Company has given you so much. They have given you salary, they have given you upgradation of skill opportunity, they have given you promotion, they have given you holiday homes, they have given you social security, they have given you emotional support, everything they have provided. Now, something an employee has to give in return. So, the duties of professional sales representatives includes number 1, achievement of sales. Number 2, they should provide support to the customers, because unless they are providing a support to the customers, it may so happen that the customers may leave at the end of the day. So, customer support is also very vital. The sales representative has to promote the product. When the new product is coming, she should convince the physicians, she should pass on the message to the retailers, who in turn will pass on the message to the patients. That is, promotion of the product is a very vital activity of the professional sales representative. Whenever he has a very important role whenever a new product is launched, because whenever a new product is launched, a lot of activities need to be carried out. The customers are need to aware, the prices are sometimes need to be cut down, availability of the product is of utmost priority. All these gamuts of activities they need to taken care of under launch of new products. Next important role or duties of a professional sales representative is feedback from the market, a continuous flow of information from the customers, and they need to percolate it to the higher level in the hierarchy. Whatever the customers are giving a feedback, whether it is in terms of the product, whether it is in terms of the service, the professional sales representative must inform, must percolate the information to people who are higher. They will pass on the information to the area manager, who in turn to the regional manager, and so on. They will try to answer the questions which the customers have. They will have to provide the solutions. They will have to provide the after sale service. These are mandatory. These are mandatory to improve the image of the organization. So, the professional sales representative has a key role to improve the image of the company, corporate image retention, that is very, very vital, because today it is an era of utmost fierce competition. So, the company images need to be upheld, the flag of the company should be fly high, because if the company survives, the individual will survive. And finally, he needs to have a total record keeping, he should have the everything in his track, every information should be with him, a complete record tracking individual he is. So, these are the various roles which the professional sales representative need to play. So, the job profile of a medical representative can be covered under three broad categories. One, prescription generation. Two, customer coverage. Three, market intelligence. These are the three primary main roles which they need to create. First is prescription generation. The most difficult activity of a medical representative is to generate the sales revenue, and the easiest way, the most effective way to generate prescription is to meet the doctors regularly to convince them about the company's product. If they are in a position to do it, my dear, be sure that the doctors will be recommending your product, automatically there will be a generation of the sales revenue. This is one of the primary important tasks of a PSR. The most difficult activity of a medical representative is to generate the sales revenue, and the most effective way to do this is to generate the prescription. This is generation of prescription is very important. He needs to generate more and more and more and more prescription by convincing the doctors. Time has no limit. That is the main difference between a marketing and other jobs. It is not a 9 to 5 job. A doctor may give you time at 7 o'clock in the evening, he may give time at 9 o'clock at night. You cannot miss this schedule. You have to convince the doctor in a very proper way. You need to answer. I will tell you how to start and how to close this meet today, how to close the discussion, how to start the discussion. You should be a good listener. What qualities a PSR must have to fulfill these roles, I will discuss in the class today. Customer coverage, the medical representative has to meet the doctors regularly. A medical representative must be aware of the various specialties a doctor have and promote the right product to a right doctor. This is very important. You should promote the right product to a right doctor. Do not waste the time of the doctors, because next day he will not give you time. Market intelligence. The success or failure of a business is decided by how well prepared it is to satisfy the customer needs in the light of the competitor's effort and the prevailing market scenario. I am repeating once again. Market intelligence, the success or failure of a business is decided on how well you are prepared to accept the customer needs, the customer requirements, because you know today it is a period where there is a fierce competition going on, the market is changing on every day. The competition is very fierce, a lot of customers are there, a lot of competitors are also there competing with you. So, that is what we are calling as market intelligence. Now, let us see what are the skills you need to have. The first and foremost skill is the interpersonal skill. The interpersonal skills are required to develop trust and rapport that are necessary part of a sales process. You have to develop a rapport with the doctors. You have to develop a rapport with the retailers. Never be harsh. You may be passing on to a very turbulent days, but never be harsh. You must be able to speak the language of the medical profession by being habituated with the very often complex medical terms and procedures, because the doctors will ask him in his own language, the doctors will ask him in his own terms. So, you need to explain, you need to satisfy, you need to convince the doctor accordingly. You will need to be able to manage your time well and project to a highly professional image. That is only possible good interpersonal skill. Next is additional training. Because of the complex nature of the products they sell, medical representative will receive extensive training just after being hired. They will give you a complete training. First, they will give you about the anatomy of the body, then they will teach you about the disease, then they will teach you about the drug which the disease will cure, then they will teach you about the mechanism of action, then they will teach you about the contraindication of the drug. Every aspect will be covered to you. So, because of the complex nature of the products they sell, medical representatives will receive extensive training upon being hired, usually in the form of structured training program. Since the medical field is constantly changing and evolving, including frequent introduction of new product to the marketplace, the training is absolutely mandatory and ongoing. Training is a must. Unless there is a training, the entire system will be obsolete. The one which I was just now telling you, the different types of training which a sales training curriculum must have. A medical representative should have a complete idea of about the anatomy of our body. The medical representative should have a complete idea about how our body structure, about the body structure, about the circulatory system, about the cardiovascular system, about the central nervous system. The people who are working in the medical division, medical sales representative, they should have an absolute clear idea about our body. Next is, they should have an idea about the symptoms of various diseases for which the company is offering the medicine. Say, if you are giving a medicine for a infection, so you should know what are the various types of infection which your patient is suffering from, what particular infection your drug will cure, what is the mechanism of action by which the drug will cure, what are the problems which a patient may face whenever he or she is taking that medicine. All this idea you should have at the back of your mind. So, next is an idea about the disease, next is the drugs, the mechanism of action of the drugs to treat the diseases along with the various contraindication that should be very crystal clear to the people before they are meeting the doctors. Next is the sales process. Next is the sales process, how to work with the doctors, how to open the conversation, how to promote the drugs of the company, that is the entire soft skill which is required to make the sales, that should be available with you. You should be a mastered, well equipped with the soft skill required to open the conversation, to close the conversation. You should be in a position to handle the various sorts of objections. All people will not agree to what you are saying. All people will not be very friendly, but you cannot lose your temper. You should be keeping yourself absolutely cool. How to handle objections, how to deal with people, how to reply in a dignified way without being harsh with the individual with whom you are dealing. That is another important area which your sales training curriculum will cover. So, you should be a listener, good listener. That is, first you should listen and speak later. Never ask representative to do anything which is immoral, illegal or against the company values. As a marketing manager, these points you need to keep in mind. You should be able to build relationship with peers, that is the person with whom you are working on, as well as you should have a good rapport with the higher management or the top management or the middle management of the organization. The interpersonal skills, the interpersonal rapport, they are absolutely required. You should be empathy and ability to understand the customer viewpoint, what the customer wants, what is going on in the back of mind of the customer, that also you should understand. There should be an analytical skill. They use data driven report to spur sales and empower representative to take ownership of their opportunities pipelines. The analytical skill should be strong. Finally, you must be a good time manager. You must be a good time manager. That is, you should be having the ability to prioritize and effectively manage the time, because there are a lot of activities which you need to carry on across the day. You need to prioritize the one which is of utmost priority should be done first. So, ability to prioritize and effectively manage time, that is another important functions. Now, the duties of PSR: approach client requirement and present suitable promoted product. The next duty is to cooperate and persuade the targeted doctors to prescribe the products utilizing effective sales skill and performing cost benefit analysis. It may so happen that today you are visiting the doctors, you are expecting in your back of your mind that the doctor will start prescribing your product. No, it is not like that. You have to visit the doctors periodically, the one whom you have targeted. The targeted doctors need to be visited periodically, convinced, persuaded to prescribe your products. It should help in promoting the sales, servicing and establishing the newer accounts, newer doctors. See, the periphery, the domain needs to be broadened up. It should help in promoting the sales, servicing and establishing the newer accounts. You should provide the detailed product information, as well as you should provide the physician samples very timely. That is, you should not only provide the product information, but deliver the product samples in a proper time. Always attend the sales meeting, always attend the conference calls, always attend the training. This will help you to be upgraded. This will help you to have a complete information about the latest product features. This will help you to be updated to the changing scenario. Work with the sales team to develop and implement strategies to ensure consistent marketing. Next is evaluate and analyze the data and market conditions to identify the competitive advantages. Keep an eye on what your competitors are doing. Keep a track of their products. Never be blind, because it is an area of cutthroat competition. You need to analyze the detailed information of the market, and if you are in a position to successfully achieve it, you will get the competitive advantage. Keep the accurate records and documentation for proper record keeping, as well as feedback. Feedback is of utmost importance. Feedback is of utmost importance. Pursue continuous learning and professional development and stay updated with the medical data. I am telling once again and again, you have to be updated with the latest medical data, a field which is changing at every point of time. If you are not updated, be rest assured you will lose your job. Promote products ethically, because we are dealing with the healthcare sector. Promote products ethically and within the compliance based on the pharmaceutical company's sales process and approved marketing strategy. Whatever the company's strategy is, you are just nothing but an implementer. You are implementing what the company has decided. So, you have to promote your product ethically and within the compliance based on the company's sales process and approved marketing strategy. Build and maintain a strong relationship with the key customers across multiple settings. Interpersonal skill is of utmost priority. Detailing selection and training of the PSR compensation because of high level of technical knowledge required and high profit margin for pharmaceutical products, a medical sales representative can earn a substantial income. As an incentive approach, 20,000 to 50,000 rupees, you will not believe, a medical representative earn per quarter. Average annual salaries for a pharmaceutical representative ranges from 1.2 lakhs to 2.4 lakhs per annum for a fresher. This is as far as the salary is concerned, this is as far as the financial benefits are concerned. Apart from this, they are provided with annual half yearly qualified trips for international or domestic location. The companies support you to go for a domestic trip, the company supports you to go for an international trip. The growth prospect, you are having so many avenues after doing your B.Pharm, but the growth prospect for marketing has been found to be the maximum. The medical representative with developed skills of management, as and when you are gaining experience, whenever you are going to the next level of area manager, your salary jumps to from 1.2 to 1.4 lakhs, it will straight away jump to 2 to 4 lakhs per annum with additional incentives, additional pleasure tips. Just to see the rapid level of growth, and this growth it will take place within a period of 4 to 5 years. This jump of salary you will never get in any other profession. Area managers with developed skill of strategic management, people with a leading team grow in the next level, what we are calling as the regional manager or zonal sales manager. And when you are reaching that particular level, your salary increases up till 3 to 6 lakhs per annum with an additional incentives and all pleasure package which a company has. And then gradually you have to earn more and more, you have to struggle more and more. From the case of deputy general manager, from regional sales manager, you will be going to the deputy general manager, from their general manager, vice president, and finally the director. And when you are reaching the ultimate position, the peak of your career, you are drawing a salary of nearly 1 crore per annum. Pharmaceutical selling skills aims to create an outstanding success for your brand, understanding in depth the roles of the sales team and develop a framework for an effective sales approach. Next is, I will be concentrating on how to open a sales, how to close a sales, and what are the process by which medical representatives are successfully carrying on the selling operations. Now, medical representative, all good reasons why doctor should prescribe your product. This information you need to have with you. You need to have all the information, all the reasons why the doctors will be satisfied, why the doctors will be happy to prescribe your products. Because to a doctor several companies are visiting. So, the information should be very proper. Now, the 7 basic steps of selling, first is pre-calling. You have to take an information, an appointment, meet him, open the conversation, questioning. You should here be a good listener. You listen to what he is questioning and answers appropriately. Next, presenting, handling operations, closing, and finally is the post call analysis. Basically, it is in the form of a cycle. After calling, you have to go for an analysis. Pre-call planning, first is targeting. You have to identify the doctors. Right doctors means right specialization. Next, call preparation, review the last call, whatever was discussed in the previous meeting. Objective spelling, SMART, your selling should be SMART. What does SMART means? Is an acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound. Next is plan the call. Plan the call means you have to objectives, promotional material, sequence of detailing. Next is projecting the right company image. Posture should be proper, facial expression, dress, everything should be proper. Utilize you need to wait. Sometimes the doctors are busy, you need to wait. Observe different timings, the number of patients, sex, age, economic status, who are coming to the doctors. You have to keep your eye open. That is what I have told you earlier. The patient information chart, competitors, promotional material, what the competitors are doing, you need to have a complete information during this process. Next is opening, the skill of you should greet that particular doctors by good morning or good evening whenever you are going. You should build up a rapport. Purpose of call should be clear and you straight away initiate the business discussion. Do not waste time. Types of opening: need, benefit opening, identify the known or presumed need, offer the product feature, the benefit which will be there to be satisfied. Then open a question, stimulate the opening. Next is questioning is used for the purpose of gaining information to use in the sales call. Start with the open question and then move on to the closed question gradually, as I have shown you here. Next is presentation, is just zeroing the identified needs and wants with all the product features. During your presentation, you should elaborate everything which a doctor is required. Handling objection, there are 2 ways: indifference and hidden objection. It can be a question, it can be a comment, it can be a query. You should show interest of the doctors in your product. And finally, coming to the closing of the sales, real success of sales call depends on the use of effective closing. That is, after presentation, review all the benefit accepted by the doctors, ask for a business, request for a trial use, request for continuous use, or try to expand. Wait for a response which is there, and the last step is what we are calling as the post call analysis, which is a process to evaluate and record the outcome of the call in order to plan for future call. After leaving the chamber, you should evaluate the call, record all the call information on a sheet of paper. That will give you an idea whenever you will be coming for the next time. Set objectives for the next meeting with the doctors. It is basically a sort of a funnel where motivate the doctors to speak, open with neutral question to get unbiased information, ask lead question to explore more deeply, ask close question to pinpoint the precise requirement and summarize to gain a doctor's acceptance of your product. It is the DAPA method of scaling. It is again an acronym. Define D, acceptance A, prove that your product can fulfill the doctor requirement. So, P, and A, acceptance of proof by the doctor. So, that is the reason why these 4 acronyms are called as DAPA method of selling. So, this unit of the course will give you an overall exposure to the various channels of drug distribution along with the management in conflict of the term, designing a new channel of drug distribution by considering various factors, various process of physical distribution of drugs were discussed, recruitment, selection, training, salary fixation of professionals, sales representatives were discussed, and the last class was basically a tips how to be a successful professional sales representative. So, with this we are coming to the end of the unit number 4 of your pharmaceutical marketing management curriculum. So, we are remaining with only one unit, that is unit number 5 to complete your course. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.